Hello everyone, my name is Mahendra Weeratunga. My background is mathematics and engineering. Mathematics 30-1 in Alberta, also known as pre-calculus grade 12. Today I am going to provide the model answers for assignment with some sample questions. I have 7 different assignments for each of these sections which cover the whole Math 30-1 curriculum. These are the sections: transformations, logarithms and exponential function, polynomial functions, radical and rational functions, trigonometry functions, trigonometry equation. Actually, usually this section is done in 4 sections, but for our convenience, I have summarized this into 2 sections: trigonometry function, trigonometry equation. Then last section is permutation and combinations. I think Math 30-1 curriculum, in most of the school, students start this course in last September and going to be finished by end of January. Some students will start in January. Some other students may start in next September. Okay, anyway, each of these assignments consists of about 15 to 18 multiple choice questions and short answer questions. In this series of presentation, I am going to provide answers for I am going to provide the exact answers for multiple choice questions, which includes maybe 15 to 18 questions depending on the section. For our convenience, actually I have divided all my presentation into a number of videos. Because of the time limitation, I have split my presentation into some number of videos. Today I am going to start with the video number 1, that is for transformation. Okay, before starting the multiple choice questions, I am going to review some key ideas of this transformation section. Actually, at the beginning of all other assignment also, at the beginning, I am going to provide the recap of the key ideas. Okay, simply what is transformation? Transformation is the process. Transformation is the kind of actions which alters shape of the object to position of the object. That means the process of transformation alters object's position or shape. What is object? Object may be actually 2-dimensional object or 3D object, that doesn't matter. But for now actually we are considering 2D object. The object may be a geometrical figure or design. The object may be an equation. The object may be a graph. Whatever the type of object, actually the transformation, when it's subject to transformation, that will change the position or shape. Okay. There are actually 3 types of transformation. In this grade 12 curriculum, we are discussing 3 types of transformations. What are they? Translation, then stretch, reflection. But in your primary education from grade 6 to 9, time to time there is a little bit introduction about the concept of transformation. Also in grade 11, pre-calculus 11 courses also demonstrate something about the transformation, that is in the section of the quadratic functions and equation. However, actually in the math 30-1 in pre-calculus 12 curriculum, we are discussing transformation section in detail. Okay, what is translation? Translation may be two kinds of translation: horizontal translation or vertical translation. That means moving horizontally right or moving horizontally left. Also, object can be moved vertically up direction. Object can be moved vertically down direction. Horizontally right, horizontally left. Vertically up, vertically down. Stretch. Stretch means actually that will subject to change in shape. Stretch may be a extension or contraction, expansion or compression. That can be horizontal stretch or vertical stretch. Horizontal stretch, that means stretching the diagram about y-axis. This happens about y-axis. Vertical stretch happens about x-axis. That means usually when we talk about the horizontal or vertical stretch, we have to mention the rotation axis, the axis of stretch about y-axis or about x-axis. Reflection. Reflection means actually reflection converts the object into its mirror image. Due to the action of reflection, the shape doesn't change, but the orientation change. In the reflection, orientation change, the shape doesn't change. Reflection can be also about x-axis. About x-axis means that is called vertical reflection. Horizontal reflection. Vertical reflection means about y-axis. Horizontal reflection, vertical reflection happens about y-axis. Horizontal stretch occurs about x-axis. Okay, I can change this like this. Vertical stretch, that is about x-axis. Horizontal stretch happen about y-axis. Okay, now I am going to continue this. Now I have already described about the 6 kind of subtransformations. The 6 kind of subtransformation: 2 under translation, 2 under stretch, 2 under reflection. That can be combined into one kind of transformation. Sometimes the object may subject to only single transformation out of 6 or more than one transformation. Sometimes that may subject to all 6 transformation. Okay, whatever the transformation number doesn't matter. I am going to include everything under the single transformation. That is called combined transformation. Y equal f of x. Y equal f of x, this is the original function. Say original function is transformed into this complex function a f of b x minus h plus k. Okay. Once again I will mention this as original function. Sometimes this is called image function, image. That means the function obtained after series of transformation. Okay, what this function includes? This function includes some number of parameters A, B, H and K. This transform function includes some number of parameters A, B, H and K. This is just an arrow, okay? Just to indicate about that. Okay, now shall we discuss about the effect of these parameters A, B, H, K. What is the effect of A? That means the function has been multiplied. Original function has been multiplied. Right side of the function has been multiplied by coefficient A. That means due to the action of A, the function vertically translate by factor of A, but for the better we mention absolute value A, because always state factor described as a positive number. We are not saying -2 times, -1/3 times. Okay, when we describe the transformation factor, we mention the positive number. That means A effects to transform the function vertically stretch, okay, vertically stretch by factor of A. In addition to this, if A is negative, what will happen? In addition to this, if A is negative, sometimes A can be -1 or any other minus number. A can be any real number other than 0. If A is negative, then function reflects above x-axis. Okay, that is the thing. In addition to stretch or compression, the function reflect above x-axis. That is one situation, effect of A. What's the effect of B? That is called horizontal stretch by factor what is B? That is a coefficient of x minus h, the number in front of s minus h. Horizontally stretched by factor, but here that is not B. You have to be careful. The stretch factor is 1 upon B absolute value. In addition to this, if B is negative, the function reflects about y-axis. Okay, I do not write this again. I just mentioned only. In addition to that, if B is negative, the function reflects about y-axis. What is new x value? Its new value will become 1 upon B absolute value times x old value. Just in order to avoid the confusion, I mention this as a shortcut, because most of the students are making a mistake here. When there is a factor B here, this is the way to calculate the new value of x. Its new value is equal to 1 upon absolute x old value. Okay. Now I have talked about the effect of these parameters A and B. Okay, that should be clear for everybody. Now let's discuss about the Now let's discuss about effect of other parameters h and k. This should be number 3. That means if h is positive, the function translates horizontally right. Horizontal translation to the right direction. Because you have to be mind about this minus sign. Always when you deal with the question, you have to create minus sign. If you see the plus sign, you have to create minus, just introducing plus sign. Like this. If you see s plus 3, for example, you can create minus sign like this. Then you can identify the h value. H value is negative 3. Okay, that is just example. We are meeting this example in our questions. What happened here? Horizontal translation to the right by h unit. If h is negative, horizontally translate to the left by h unit. H unit means is absolute value. Just to avoid the confusion, always I mentioned about the absolute value. Okay, once again, if h is positive, that means the value of h is positive after creating this negative sign. Okay, if h is positive number, the function is moving h unit right. If h is negative, after creating this negative sign, the function is moving h unit left. That is one thing. Other thing is about number 4, effect of k. If k is positive, but you have to be careful in order to say like this, you have to arrange this k in the right side. Sometimes purposely, if the question have been given k is left side, before analyzing this, you have to move k into right side. That means in order to analyze this effect of this transformation, it is easy if you rearrange the equation exactly in this manner. Okay, what we talk about, if k is positive, vertical translate up. If k is negative, vertically translate down by k unit. Okay, if k is positive, function is moving k unit up. If k is negative, the function is moving k unit down. Okay, now I have recalled your memory. Actually, this is not the explanation for the student who are learning from the beginning. For this time, maybe you might have learned these parts properly. But unfortunately, I heard that this time you don't have a final exam or diploma exam, but nothing to lose. You will learn someday calculus 31 for your university degree also. Unfortunately, if someone is retaking this all explanation or recap is very useful. Okay. Now next step of my video is, now I am going to start the real questions. Okay, let's get into your question papers. Okay, with this video, I have provided the link to access all of these 7 assignments. When you are referring this video, I believe, if you can follow with the hard copy of this soft copy. However, actually, most of the time, I will try to display this question in the side of this board, but that is just to follow-up purpose only. Okay, it is better to follow up these answers by keeping the soft copy or hard copy of this paper. Okay, anyway, let's start our multiple choice question for transformations. There are about 18-19 questions there. Okay, I will try to cover about selected question more than 15 questions due to time limitation. But after stopping this video, then I will continue this remaining question later. Okay, let's talk about question number 1. What the question number 1 says, the graph of y equal fx, the graph of y equal f of x is translated 3 unit to right and 4 unit down. Okay, that means according to our standard notation, as I explained in my combined transformation, you can figure out the parameters. What about these parameters? I mentioned about the 4 parameters A, B, H and K. Actually that means H and K are given. That means A and B are not applicable here. H equal positive 3. K equal negative 4. Because this translates to the right, that means H is positive. Vertical translation happened in the downward direction, K is negative. Now what's the new function? Because this is the standard notation. Y equal A f of B s minus h plus k. This is the standard form of the image function. Now you can substitute this applicable value. If A and B are not given, that means they, in the question, they are not talk about the stretches or reflection. That means we don't have to mention A and B. That doesn't mean 0, okay? Just ignore A and B. We don't have to put this symbol. That means the value of these symbols are 1. Okay? Some people say these values are 0, not 0. If there is no reflection, no stretch, the values of A and B is equal to 1. Okay, now what is applicable one? Function of, this is s minus 3 minus 4. Okay, now this answer. Now let's check the correct answers out of this portion. When you look at out of this portion, we understand that B is the correct answer. In the correct answer, actually they have moved to port to left side, doesn't matter. That means correct answer is answer number B. Okay, now let's look at question number 2. What the question number 2 says, the function y is equal to fs as domain, y is equal to fs as domain. Let's use the domain notation, domain x minus 3 and 2. The range has been given y between 2 and negative 2. Actually, I am writing these steps just to recall your memory and for the explanation purpose. But being the multiple choice question, you don't have to write this everything. But in order to get the answer, you can do anything. You can write no steps or you can write one or more steps. Okay. But the question asks, what are the domain and range of the, they are asking domain and range of what? Domain and range of y minus 3 equal f of s plus 5. Okay. Now let's rearrange this equation. Y equal f of, you can rearrange this by creating negative sign here, plus 3. Because I rearrange this equation in the standard manner. Y equal f s minus k s minus h plus k. That means we can figure out the value of h and value of k. That means in this question also, like in the previous question, A.Sc equal to 1, B.Sc equal to 1. Okay, what are the new value? Okay, I am continuing the rest of the question in this side. In the standard notation, if we use the standard notation, mapping notation, the new value would be, new coordinate would be s plus h, y plus k. Because you have to know this from the theory, okay? If the stretch and reflection are not applicable, if only the horizontal and vertical translation are applicable, then the original xy value will become s plus h, y plus k. That means what is this? If I write this again, let's write this again. Let's write this again by plugging the h and k values. That means x minus 5, that is y plus 3. Okay. Now you can figure out corresponding value. That means we have to find new x value for this, new x value for this. As this is a multiple choice, we don't have to waste our time to write in and show in the steps. Let's figure out this value here. New x value is s values minus 5. That means you have to add minus 5 for both parts. Minus 3 plus minus 5. That is minus 8. What is new y value? Original y value plus 3. 2 plus 3. That is this one. Sorry. Both are x, okay? Both are x. The new x value is this x value minus 5. New y value is this x value minus 5, that is minus 3. Because this is not the y value, okay? Both are x value. Now we are figuring like this. This is minus 3 and 2. This is a domain for the original function. We are going to find corresponding x values for new function. That means you have to add minus 5 to both of these numbers. Then we are getting these two numbers. That is new domain. What is new range? Y plus 3. That means you have to add number 3 for both of this number. Okay? 3 plus this. That is 1. 3 plus 2. That is 5. Okay? Now these are the new domain. New domain is between new x value. New set of x value, new domain is between negative 8 and 3. New range between 1 and 5. Okay. I think according to the option, A is the right answer. Domain negative between negative 8 and negative 3. That is this one. 1 and 5, this one. Okay. That means right answer is answer number A. Okay, I am going to cover the question number 3 also under the same video. Still we are in video number 1 under transformation. Let's look at question number 3. What can you see in the question number 3? If I draw this diagram roughly, okay, I have drawn this diagram roughly for the demonstration purpose. The question says the graph of y equal fx, the graph of y equal fx is the image of, this is the image, okay, not the original function. Y equal graph of fx is the image of the graph of y equal minus absolute value x after horizontal and vertical translation. What's the equation of the image graph? Okay, that means this is the original graph. This original graph is subjected to both horizontal and vertical translation. We have been asked to find the equation of the image graph. Let's try the standard equation. Y equal f of s minus h plus k. That means in the combined transformation, A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, as those are not applicable, okay? Okay, let's figure out h and k value by looking the graph. That means this point has been moved to here. In order to identify the translation, by looking the graph, we have to understand the shape have not changed. The shape of the graph has not been changed, but the position has been changed. That means in order to identify how the position has been changed, let's consider movement of this key point, this point and this point. Horizontal movement, that is h value, vertical movement k value. What is h? Let's read this coordinate. Actually, by looking this actual diagram of the paper, we see that there are two grids here, 1 and 2, two grids. H is equal to 2, k is equal to, I can count 3 grids up to here, okay? This is the way students are doing. 2 grids up to here, 3 grids up to here. H is equal to 3. Both are positive, okay? Horizontal translation right, that is H is positive 2. Vertical translation up, k is 3. Then simply plug this value. Y equal function of, what is this value? X minus 2 plus 3. But still we did not get the answer. None of the answers contains if. That is something else. That means we have to go one more step. What's that? Fs has been given as like this. This is the point, okay? In the question, Fs has been defined. Now how to find Fs minus 2? Simply S is replaced. Replace x by s minus 2. Fs equal to this. In order to find s minus 2, we have learned this from grade 10. That means simply replace s by s minus 2 here, okay? That means your new function is plus 3. Now, in order to match the answer, you can move this 3 to here. If you add negative 3 to both sides, I think our matching answer is, correct answer B is B. Answer is B. Okay, in this first video, then I have talked about introduction of the course topics, introduction of the transformation and key ideas, and I have discussed first 3 questions of the assignment. Okay, see you in the next video for remaining questions. Thank you.